Aquaman issue 3 with Dan Abnett writing and Phil Briones, I'm just guessing how to pronounce that, on art. And this was not bad. Aquaman, I think, has continued to be a consistent, enjoyable book that's always kind of in the lower tier of my kind of like week, if that makes sense.
For me, this was my least favorite of the three, plus the rebirth. So I
Interesting.
just something switched, like Merc getting hyper aggressive, and them just like closing the embassy, despite them knowing what Aquaman's all about. Like
See, I
I don't know,
can't.
it seems like there's plot contrivances just to have them
See,
there.
I
I
know,
don't
I
feel
can
like
understand
they're.
that.
I don't.
I can understand it. I feel like for me, like this is like Aquaman is trying to do all this stuff, and no matter how hard he tries, it's kind of crumbling in and of itself. And
Right, but
I kind of
we
like that
we've
he's in that struggle.
yeah, but we've had that since Abnett's been writing it. You know.
Yeah, see, the thing I'm looking forward to is Black Manta finding out that his attack caused all this trouble.
Yeah.
Because it's kind of like he
Mm.
won anyway. Even if
Yeah.
he didn't kill him, he caused him so much trouble that it just doesn't matter.
And Matt, you say that that's been happening since Abnett's been writing, but that was only one arc before this rebirth stuff started.
No, and I get that, but I feel like what really put this over the top with me with not liking it was when they talked with the president's chief of staff, and he was just very aggressive. You know, where we've had one arc of Spindrift, and it's like, oh no, this is going to keep happening because you're Aquaman. Like Throne of Atlantis, that happened, and I was like, well, you guys were okay with them building Spindrift, and it wasn't an issue with Throne of Atlantis. Now it is. Like you had to know it was going to be a target, and then the government coming and taking it over, and I just feel again there's a lot of contrivances just for them to be there instead of having them happen organically. You know, like why not have Atlantis take over Spindrift and tell the government to f off? You know, because it was an attack on them by an American, not the other way around.
I get what you're saying, but at the same time,
Yeah.
all of it feels completely viable to me. Like given how the world actually works.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's like it shouldn't
Uh,
be like that, but I get it.
Like this is the sort of thing that would happen in real life if this all happened, and we'd all be going, "No, that's kind of bullshit," but we
but
expect it
I
of them.
also I also kind of feel if this was real life, if we're going to use that, then it would have been a bigger deal for him to build an embassy on American soil.
True, true.
So that's all. Like suddenly it's an issue that he built an embassy, whereas where were all these? Where was the government when he was doing it? Or did he just do it and be like, "Deal with it, bitch"? You know, I'm gonna do what I want, and now it's falling out. But that's not Aquaman's attitude. He wants to build a bridge, as he keeps saying. You know,
Well, I mean, they did make it feel like it was delicate to begin with, though, and he pushed for this like station, and it happened, and now that it's immediately caused trouble, like within the first day of it opening, like I can get where they're coming from. Like we have to
oh,
put
I
us.
do too. But I feel like they're just again like had it not had the government scene had the Waller esque character just showed up, it was like, hey, we need to shut it down for a couple, get to the bottom of this. But them and it ending with Aquaman being arrested by the U.S. government, I thought was a little like again, it's the Man of Steel problem. We're gonna treat this guy who only has good intentions like for lack of a better term, an alien, and that's his only thing. Let's not mind the fact that he saved the world a million times with the Justice League.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. I feel like realistically though, in this continuity right now, it's not actually been that long since like Throne of Atlantis, and he's not been around in the public eye that long. You know,
Yeah,
so like
But
I get where you're
it's
coming
also
from.
worth remembering that the public laughs at Aquaman as well. They don't take him that seriously until before Throne of Atlantis, at least.
right,
So it was
right.
kind of a joke, or it was overlooked, and then you
And
have this
they,
event that's really devastating to them. So
well, yeah,
suddenly
but
he
you
appears
also,
scary.
yeah, well, they also set that up in the beginning of this arc. There's an issue on a rebirth, how no one takes him seriously still. Like they have
Yeah,
cartoons about him and all this other stuff. So yeah, I just felt uneven and just again hate to use the word again, but contrivances that are just there to propel the story. That just me, and I'm not a professional writer, but I just there's other ways to do it cleanly that don't end up with him being arrested in the White House.
I get it. It didn't rub me the wrong way as it seems to have done you.
Yeah.
For me, just kind of I went with the flow. Not to
I will agree that it
point.
was probably the weakest issue,
Yeah.
but I definitely didn't dislike it to the extent that you did.
Oh no, yeah, I'm still gonna keep reading it. Like I'm still like you said, Connor. I want to know how Black Man is gonna react, and even that group that took him in, he wasn't down with them even.
Yeah.
Like I like the idea that Black Man is kind of like a lone wolf that's only out to destroy Aquaman's life. Like he has no other
Yeah.
purposes in life. So
Speaking of that group, they're called Nemo, and the woman specifically who's got the dead shot eye is called Blackjack.
I'm not sure I'm really feeling this group, to be honest.
I'm not. They feel like Hydra adjacent.
They feel like they'll be around for an arc to be villains or whatever, and not be a big deal after that. That said, though, I'm not entirely against the name Nemo, just for the
With the 20,000 Leagues
that's fine.
reference and whatnot. Yeah, that's cool. That's not my issue. I just like the disposable guards and her. Like she seems.
They all just feel like knockoffs, don't they?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, like you say, it's Black Manta's reaction and him reacting to them that's the more fun part of it. So I think in that level, it's fine. I do like that Aquaman just shows up to the White House at the front door. Like, I wish to speak to the president. Like, it works like that.
I like how he thinks they'll let him in with the trident and everything.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and even the chief of staff's like, "Hey, we get it, you're royalty, but there are still protocols that we have to go through, dude."
As he's saying that, when he's talking to the chief of staff, where is his trident? Did he surrender it when he got in through the
guess
front
he
door?
did. Yeah. Now, I do have to. If I have to agree with one complaint about the whole handcuff thing at the end, I don't necessarily have a problem with him being charted off in handcuffs. I like the idea that he's willing to go along with the system to prove that he's like playing ball. But the one part of it I don't like is that through all of Jonesy's run and through everything so far, I will agree that it's been one too many times where people from within Atlantis are setting up Aquaman or doing something to get him in trouble with the surface.
I'm not sure it is this time.
Oh, go on.
I think it could be someone else claiming it's Atlantis because they're saying they've received a message that Atlantis have claimed it, but I think it could be someone else saying it's Atlantis.
Well, fair enough, but even if it is, it's still my complaint still kind of lands that the overall thing of like the relationship being strained because of something happening, whether it actually is someone from Atlantis or someone else underwater or whatever, you know. Like, that feels a bit too samey, so we'll just see where that goes next issue. But
Well, and then and you have the drift showing back up at the end, causing problems.
Yeah.
But it's fine, and it's not worth. I mean, I'm not gonna stop reading Aquaman because of this issue.
Yeah, it was still decent, but it was definitely weaker.
yeah, like it's kind of like it's in that sort of weird, like it's fine, kind of near the bottom of your pile, but. If this is the lower end of your list, then it's like you've got a pretty decent list.
Yes.
Yeah. So, it was fine. Like I agree with it. It's probably not it's definitely not the strongest. I liked issue 1's probably still the strongest for me. I think.
Yeah.
But
the whole Black Manta impersonating a Daily Planet reporter.
Yeah.
That whole thing.
Yeah, I really like that issue. So, we'll see where it goes. But Abnett's a pretty decent writer, so we'll see where he takes it.
Yeah.